the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shabbat shalom. I'm the elder of the Gathered of Christ Church, Elder Ricard. Blessings to all my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. And yes, we're in for a very, very blessed lesson this Sabbath. Of course, you know, hit the like button. Without any further ado, that's right, starting tomorrow. Before we begin, let me just let you know, just as a reminder, that our Hebrew and Bible Academy is open and classes will begin tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp. If you've been wanting structured, sound teaching so that you can grow at your own pace, now is the time. If you haven't enrolled yet, feel free to email us at gatheringas1@aol.com. That's gatheringas1@aol.com. You can email us or go to historytimes.org to enroll. Beginning tomorrow, December 21st, to break the spirit of their Saturnalia between Christmas and New Year's, okay? Satanaria. We're going to break the signal by bringing in the truth. Here, not just only within this channel, but 3 months starting tomorrow with our Hebrew and Bible Academy. The theme will be Beyond 2025, Hope After Armageddon. Hope After Armageddon. A great 3 months. You get history, Hebrew, news, and some of the most profound lessons you've ever been a part of or you've ever seen under a quote-unquote Bible structure. We guarantee it. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. So without any further ado, let's go. To Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. Shalom. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. Please give me the strength to stand today. With my eyes towards the east, show me the way to Zion. I'm on my knees, laying my life on the line. I'm begging, please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Blessings, blessings. Place my feet, Lord, guide my path. Show me the way to Zion. I opened up the book and see. That's right, brothers and sisters. Going to Zion. Right now, an elder lawyer is still over in Africa, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about today with this particular lesson. Man, the Most High, He put this whole structure in my mind today, and I thought I would deliver it, especially one day before the Hebrew and Bible Academy. And you know what? I had everything set up, ready to go, and I'm like, you know what? Even if elder lawyer is all the way over there, hey, I can go alone today to bring this forth. But fortunately, Elder Ramar said he would assist me today. So I'm going to bring Elder Ramar in, and we're going to begin a serious lesson. Boy, a serious lesson we have for you today in store. Yes, the prophetic 7 hills of Satan exposed will be our lesson today. I wanted to really go into a serious, in-depth biblical lesson, going into tomorrow's Hebrew and Bible Academy. Now, a few things I'm going to switch out for the Academy. Instead of just going into who's Edom, week 4, brothers and sisters, we're going to break down for the first time in the Academy the 12 Caesars of Rome, week 4. Man, and if you see, well, you'll realize how this connects to our lesson today once you're in the Academy, week 4. We're going to break down the 12 Caesars of Rome. That's right, the 12 kings of Edom in this academy. And if you want to understand where it's going, stick around for this lesson today. We will expose the 7 hills of Satan right here on the Sabbath in depth for the first time. Like what I'm going to tell you. And we're going to quantify it in a short amount of time. Breaking down the 7 hills of Satan. Hit the like button. All right. First and foremost, let me bring in Elder Ramar to assist me. 1 second. Please let everyone know that the Gathering of Christ Church is now in session. Shalom, Elder Ramar. How are you?
Hey, Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Do me a favor. Your head is cut off there.
Okay. Let me get my stuff together here. How are you today, Elder?
Shalom. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. How's everything with you?
I'm doing well. Blessings, blessings. Let me make sure I can bring you in real quick. Man, do I have a lesson in store today, man. I'm going to tell you. All praises be to the Most High.
All praises.
That's right. Ahia, Ashar, Ahia is his name. All right, let's see here. Let me bring you in here. Let's see. Yes. All right, there you go there. That's there. One second, bear with me, brothers and sisters. Bear with me here. Okay, because when we're in it, we're in it. That's right. Might as well make sure everything is set good here. Got that. Got that. Yes. And last but not least, we have that. Elder Ramar.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I put this together today, all praises be to the Most High, Elder Ramar, based on what's going on in the earth right now. Right? The Bible states in the book of Daniel that through policy, Satan shall destroy many, and the book of Daniel is breaking it down. Most people don't understand what's going on with all the people controlled under Satan throughout these countries, how they're being utilized as proxies to destroy God's people throughout the four corners of the earth. It doesn't matter where the people are. Keep in mind, folks, for years, Ramar, we've been hearing this thing, New World Order, and was not able to quantify that order. Because why? We were going to the Satanists set up in America on the evangelicals and Jesuits to give us the correct narrative of the Bible, when really, Elder Ramar, they've been hiding the God they serve, Satan, under Christendom. So what I wanted to do is to bring out the Bible today, an extra biblical text, to bring it all into what? A proper prophetic scope, exposing the 7 hills of Satan today. From the Vatican, people talking about they're waiting for the New World Order. The New World Order began a long time ago under Esau, about 1400 years before Christ. And today, I'm going to prove it. The same time, Elder Ramar, brand new information coming out today. I looked at the historical dates of our Exodus. And when Edom began to go into Italy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is groundbreaking. Do you know the same time that we were actually going into Israel, or about to go into Israel, right? Esau was setting up his kingdom under, that's right, Esau's grandchildren began to set up their kingdom the same exact time in Italy. Right? A race to the end. That's why when you hear the word race, it has nothing to do with ethnicity or genealogy. So I would ask myself, why are they identifying people on the lines of race? Right? The Bible says Esau is Esau, Jacob is Jacob, Ishmael is Ishmael. What is this race thing? It's an actual race. It's a race between the time of what? Of the fall of Adam to where the Most High will judge those, the fallen angels, and the people who worship them on this earth. There's a race to that particular time period. And Esau must get rid of Jacob before the prophecy. That's the race. But obviously Esau, being proud, the pride of his heart have deceived him. Of course, he believes in his mind that what? That he's smarter than everyone else, based on the fact that he was able to trick the world through his lies. So here it is. Esau believed that the people are so dumb, they're naive, they don't study. They'll believe anything we tell them. Well, guess what? Their pride have deceived them. So today, what people didn't know concerning Esau, how he was established with the New World Order, all the way to the 7 hills, they'll understand today. And this will set up week 4, exposing the 12 Caesars of Rome. So you ready, young man?
Yes, sir. Let's get it. I'm already picturing how is this going to unfold.
Oh, yeah. I done laid it out. I have laid it out. All praise be to the Most High. It came to my mind. I got my books in front of me. I got my records all here. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to take my time rolling this out. And I thank you for assisting me. But I'm going to tell you, I was all ready to go. I would just have one screen up. Man, listen. I was ready to go, young man, but I'm glad you said out of nowhere you can come in. So it's always good to have someone to assist us, because through the Holy Spirit, where 2 or more gathered, he's in the midst. And I'm sure some things are going to pop into your mind through the Holy Spirit that will elevate what the Most High have already given me for this particular class.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, before we go into anything, right, let me make it clear. Today, we will use not just the Bible, but the book of Jasher today. But the book of Jasher today, all right? Now, if people don't know out there already, what is the book of Jasher? That is a good question, right? When you hear about the book of Jasher, normally if you go to a Christian pastor or even Hebrews, they're going to try to dissuade you and try to say, well, no, that's not, we must just follow the book. Why? Because they don't know about the book of Jasher, and they didn't realize that the Bible refers us to the book of Jasher. It fills in a lot of blanks, or more so, it magnifies the first 5 books of Moses historically. Okay? It gives you a more so in-depth understanding within the stories we read within the first 5 books. All right? And of course, the Bible refers to the book of Jasher, right? So let me go there first, all right? Now, this is what I don't do. If I tell people it's written in the book of Jasher according to the Bible, and the Bible actually refers back to it, I don't debate or argue what I know is fact. Someone's opinion means nothing. Okay? The word of God means everything. So there's certain things, because what? Everyone isn't going to what? See the truth. You have so many people stuck in their ways, stuck according to the doctrine they was taught, and what? Would refuse to deny that maybe their teachers didn't teach them everything. And through pride, some people don't want to admit that. A teacher can only teach you within the scope of the information the Most High blessed them to convey. It doesn't mean their teacher is evil or wrong or deceptive. It only means your teacher taught the best he could based on the information he studied. But so many people don't want to understand that. They don't want to let that go. Right? They want to believe that my teacher taught me everything and it's the infallible truth. No. That's why the Bible tells us to study to show ourselves approved unto the Almighty. It's not an indictment on someone's teacher if the teacher didn't teach certain things. There's many members to the body. Everyone have their own gift. And it doesn't mean that your teacher tried to deceive you, or the school you went to, or the church you went to, there was a deceiver at the pulpit intentionally deceiving people. Don't mean that. But the Bible tells us in the book of Daniel, it tells us in the book of Daniel that at the very end, knowledge shall increase, that the seals would be broken. So if the seals are going to be broken at the end, it's obvious that the teachers in past generations were only teaching based on the information given to them at that specific time. Right? I just want to put that out there because so many people get defensive when you present something to them, Ramar, that they have never heard from their teachers. Automatically, it must be an error or wrong. No, doesn't mean your teacher's wrong. The Most High didn't move them in that area to study. And guess what? That's okay. They did enough to what? To build your foundation, to stay in the faith in these days of trouble, this time of trouble, so that you could receive further information and insight from the Almighty. Right? Let's now, real quick, let's go to, real quick. Oh, before I go there, let's do the Hebrew Credo.
Yes, sir.
I'm so anxious to jump into this lesson here. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Okay. Real quick now, let's go to the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua 10, verse 13. Joshua 10 and 13 out of the Bible. 1 second. Let me do this real quick here. Yes. Thank you.
The book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher?
Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So hence the reason why when we talk about the book of Jasher, it's without debate. Now, some people may go against the book of Jasher because when you read the book, it conflicts with the doctrine they were taught. Why? Because it filled in information that wasn't fully detailed in the first 5 books. See? So because they didn't learn the book of Jasher, they learned in error because this particular book was dissuaded from the population. Right? The pastors weren't taught this in theologian seminary school. Jasher isn't a man. Jasher is an actual book of the upright ones. That's what Jasher means, the upright ones. All of the righteous fathers left a record pre-flood all the way up into the time it was given to who? Joshua from Moses. Another record that was held within the Ark of the Covenant. So the Bible speaks of what? The book of Jasher. Now let's go to 2 Samuel 1, verse 18. 2 Samuel, let's get it. 2 Samuel 1, the first chapter and the 18th verse. Let's read it.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 18. Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher.
Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow and arrow, like the Gadites utilized it. But guess what? The Gadites weren't as sharp as the Judites when it came to marksmanship. Okay? Our father Jacob taught Judah the bow. We taught the bow to all the other tribes when it comes to a marksman. And it's just the way it was according to history. A matter of fact, it was our father Jacob who killed Esau with the bow and arrow. So now the Edomite children would seek vengeance. That's right, against the children of Jacob based on what happened to their father. Okay? Jacob didn't mean to kill Esau. He was just trying to strike him to a point where Esau and his family would back up off of him. They were selling our people, and Esau's children and grandchildren, they were relentless. They wouldn't stop battling against us. So Jacob took up a bow, boom, and took Esau out. Well, the Edomite families have been in war against the children of Jacob ever since. But the problem is, Esau magically disappeared in our modern time of theology. Everyone is claiming to be Israelites or Jews, but no one is claiming Edom. Ramar, I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
How can you know who is Jacob when you see white people, Jewish people claiming to be Jews, claiming we've restored the land of Israel in the Middle East? How can you know Israel and not be able to identify Edom? Right? Unless it's intentional. Unless it's intentional, because what? They say you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Israel, wouldn't you want to identify before the world through your theology and point out your mortal enemy as Edom? Why is there so much ambiguity with Esau?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I wanted to put that out there first so that no one is alarmed, being fairly new, that might see us going into extra biblical texts like the book of Jasher today. Right? That's page 299. But let's go here real quick so I can show everyone here 1 second before diving in what I have here. Yes. I so happen to have the original reprint of the book of Jasher that was translated in 1840. Make sure if you get a book of Jasher, you get the original Jasher. 1840. Okay? And it says what? Faithfully translated from the original Hebrew into the English. Just like the Old Testament is translated out of the Old Hebrew, well, guess what? Jasher was translated from the Hebrew into English in 1840. It so happened when the Most High began to show forth this ministry, I was able to order the books from Utah, and I was giving them out to people in the inner city. One day I went to order a stack of 50, right, at a very reasonable price, and come to find out online, it stated what? An error on the page. This particular publishing house is no longer publishing books. Now, check this out. That happened, brothers and sisters, in 2007. 2007, I was ordering these books out of the original Hebrew, and I still have some here. I have some of them are falling apart. It's probably on my bookshelf somewhere. I have to find it. Let me see if I see it here. I don't want to waste too much time. But I still have some of the original books that I was ordering from there. So I started giving these books out in Philadelphia. It was so profound what I was reading out of the book. It started filling in all the gaps. And then one day I went to order 50 more. On the web page, and the web page came up blank and stated, this publishing house no longer is publishing books. Because I wanted the original.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they started looking into this one order that was going to one address.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's this person ordering all of these books? Because usually an individual, Elder Amar, order one book for themselves.
Right.
Who's this person ordering all these books? Obviously, it's not for him. Okay? They say, and you know, they got together and say, shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going into a predominantly black neighborhood. Nah, we can't have them understanding the full truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Plus, if you look at it, you ordering it in bulk like that and you're giving it out, they can't track who's getting what because it's all being purchased from one person.
Exactly. It was such a wealth of information that I said, you know what? I have to give this out. And I started giving out the books. Right? I just started giving them out. Right? So now, out of the original text, we're going to be talking about this today. But now, I wanted to put that out there so people will understand that the book of Jasher is referred to in the Bible. The Bible refers you to the book of Jasher, which means you read the book of Jasher, and any error that you thought concerning the narrative that you was taught, you must change that. Because now you have detailed information to give you the correct narrative for that time. So if you've been taught some doctrine that conflicts with what you're reading with the Bible and the book of Jasher, that's not the Most High's fault. Okay? It's up to you to swallow your pride and say, okay, if what Jasher is saying is true, what that mean for what I thought in the contrary before I read the book. Okay? Now, here we go, young man. Here we go. Exposing the 7 hills of Satan. Let's go right here first to Revelation, the 17th chapter. We're going to start here and work our way backward. Right? Let's start at Revelation 17 and 1, because If you don't know about this mystery that was shown to John on the Isle of Patmos, it will all come into full view within this lesson on the Sabbath. Let's start at Revelation 17:1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
So the angel came to John and says, he was in a vision and said, I'm going to show you the great whore that sitteth on many waters. It's a mystery. Read.
Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
He's seen a scarlet or a red-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy. These are they who sought to erase God's name out of the earth and promote Jehovah or the Tetragrammaton. What people don't realize is that the Tetragrammaton is the god of the Canaanites. So it says, full of names of blasphemy, sin, evil, wickedness. They would place the name of the Canaanite god above the God of the Hebrews, Ahiah. Full of names of blasphemy. Come on.
Verse 4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Purple and scarlet. Like what you would see, what? The clothing that you would normally see worn by the priest of the Vatican. By the priest of the Vatican. Let me show y'all real quick. Scarlet, purple, right? Look at this. Let me show you here. Scarlet and purple. Let me show you the whore that sitteth on many waters. Now, this particular religious and political initiative has an end game. It has an end game against an particular people prophetically. Hence the reason why, that's right, Christ showed John the very end, the mystery. The people who would bring forth Satan's plan on earth of world domination. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and decked with what?
And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand.
Having a what?
Having a golden cup in her hand.
Having a golden cup in her hand. Having a golden cup. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hit that like button, folks. We have what? Scarlet, purple. We have also the golden cup. Scarlet, purple, the golden cup. Read.
Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Filthiness of her fornication. That means this particular harlot shown would promote debauchery, fornication, evil, pedophilia. They would promote what? Lawlessness. They would work against the laws of Moses. The morality in Christ. Why? Because if they can weaponize sin against the world, think about it. They use sin as a weapon to take God's protection from those they are seeking to destroy. So this is an organized chaos. They're not just promoting sin just because they're sinful, which they are anyway. But they're promoting sin because through sin, it takes the protection of God off of people. So they would need to weaponize and take this and promote this sin throughout the earth to what? To actually accomplish their final objective. And you're going to hear about what that objective is in a moment. Right? And the woman was arrayed in purple scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of evil, abominations, filthiness of her fornication. Read.
Revelation 17, verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
And the abominations of the earth. And this is why they would like us to believe this is just talking about America. Because it throws people off of the scent. Right? When it says mystery, Babylon, the great mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, what makes her a mystery? The mystery is because the people don't understand the family who's promoting Satan's religion. The family's name, according to the name God gave the people who's bringing forth Satan's will on earth. That's the mystery. Who are these people that are promoting, or who are promoting, the religion and the world dominating plan of Nimrod? That's the mystery. If we knew, we would separate ourselves and not trust such a people. Right? Think about it. These people are very intentional. They have an objective. While the whole world are operating like trusting sheep, not realizing these people's objective. Why? Because we never went into the Bible and broke down the mystery to identify the people getting used, who are being used by Satan against all the nations in the earth. Babylon, the great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. 6, read it.
Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
She's drunken with what?
She's drunken with the blood of the saints.
She's drunken with the blood of the saints. So these would be the same people who had the plan to kill the children of Israel, to destroy Jerusalem in 70 AD, the desolation, who would seek to kill the prophets, kill the disciples, to take down the only ideology in the earth, which is what Christ gave the disciples, that could expose Satan's plan and his people. See? How can we listen to these people concerning Christ when they're the same people who killed Christ, who killed the disciples? And the Christian church try to put all of that on the Jews or the Israelites. That's a lie. Christ's death was a capital punishment of Rome. Crucifixion was a Roman punishment. Stoning was the capital punishment amongst our people. So you notice the Christian church, even the Jewish religion and all that, try to put it on. They try to claim the Jews killed Christ. Well, it was a capital punishment. A capital punishment of the Romans. See? So you got to watch how slick they is. They always try to blame Christ's death solely on us. When it was a Roman, what? That's right. It was a Roman capital punishment. They're guilty of the blood of Christ. That's right. Pontius Pilate had a plan. He said, I'm going to give you Barabbas or Christ. Surely they're going to pick the good man, right? But Pilate could have easily said, you know what, this man is innocent. He knew Christ was innocent. He could have just let Christ go and say, listen, if you're going to stone him, the blood is going to be on you. Right? But it tell you that what? I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. These are the people who are responsible for Christ's death, the disciples' death. And after our people were scattered throughout the earth, they hid their true identity by claiming to be Jews and or Christians. Right? And then they would hide themselves altogether so that no one would realize that the modern day people in Europe are Romans. This is how they purposely hide in the blood of the saints before the world. Right? And by doing so, they're not accused or guilty before the world politically for all the blood they have shed and continue to shed. And the woman was drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And I saw her, read.
And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel?
Revelation 17:7. The angel is asking John, why are you marveling? You got a people who's identified in the Bible, who can only be identified through the Bible, running around causing all types of turmoil, evil, wickedness, intentional evil in the earth, bloodshed, warfare. But nobody in the earth can recognize who is doing this and why they're doing this. So John marveled at this beast. Like, hold up. It's clear what's going on. Why is no one stopping these people? And folks, This is the pride of Esau of why he believes he can get away with anything that comes to mind that he knows is wicked and evil against humanity. Because he can do it in plain sight, intentionally, without any recourse, without any consequences, without people coming together and saying, you know what? We're not participating in this evil anymore. So he thinks he can get away with anything. Right? It's called psychology. Mm-hmm. The study of men's behavior. The study of civilizations and cultures. They're not studying this because they're interested in people's culture or in people's history. Right? To respect and to what? To build a cohesiveness based on the knowledge they learn concerning people. They study culture. They study history. They study civilizations to find the weakness in people, to find how they can trick people. That's what their universities are for. Okay? So here it is. The angel say, why are you marveling? Why marvel? Let's read it.
And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns.
I will show you the mystery of this nation. 8.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
So the beast that you see was and is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit. Okay? When it says ascend out of the bottomless pit, they're just talking about the spirit that's in full control over this particular harlot. Satan will ascend out of the bottomless pit after a 1,000-year reign of Christ. Listen, read.
And go into perdition.
And go into perdition, read.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
So we're going to look at what nation that wasn't written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Read.
When they behold the beast that was.
That was. Now,
and
it says the spirit of the beast that was. Where did Satan have his first king that would rally all nations together under him? Huh? Babylon, Nimrod. So it has the same religion and ideology as the beast that was. Babylon, Nimrod. That's why Esau celebrate Christmas, Easter. See? It's the same religion of ancient Babylon. See? Y'all follow me? So the beast has a spirit or a religion that brings all nations under Satan's power to do his will on earth. So the angel told John, I'm going to show you the beast that was. So if it was, there was a civilization Satan had that gathered all people under his power. Nimrod. The beast that was, read.
And is not.
And is not, because no one could recognize the power that's going from one nation to the next. It was, it's not, because it's not Babylon anymore. But what?
And yet is.
And yet is. So who was holding the Babylonian religion during the time of Christ and or the disciples when the vision was given? Rome. Rome. See that? And yet is. Read.
Revelation 17:9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom.
Here is the mind of those that have wisdom, that can break down the prophecy, the vision that was shown, and fully understand it. Here is the mind of those who can see this. Read.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains
on which the woman sitteth.
On which the woman sitteth. Hold tight. If you have wisdom to understand, the Most High through Christ is given revelation to understand the people Satan have always used to bring forth his power up until what? Our modern time. They would hold the religion of ancient Babylon. They would seek the blood of the saints. There'll be the people who are responsible for the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Under who? Vespasian and his son Titus. Right? But here's another clue. 7 mountains. The 7 hills of Rome. She would sit on 7 mountains. Right? Here's the mountains of Rome. They had what? Temples to worship Satan in all of these regions. The Aventine Hill, the Palatine Hill, the Capitoline Hill, the Quaternion, the Quirinal Hill, the Viminal Hill, the Esquiline Hill, and the Celian Hill. All 7 in Italy. Here's the mystery. The mystery is the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. 7 temples to Satan. It's quite interesting what they get in the day, huh, young man? Okay. Hold up, we're going to take our time with it. So if we're going to deal, right? So,
reminds me of one of them old lessons.
Say that again?
Reminds me of one of them old lessons when you first brought this out way back when.
Hey, that's the spirit the Most High put on me this morning. So that we can bring it into full view so that our people can understand the danger we were always under. These people are intentional with an objective. Their objective is what? The blood of the saints. Right? Now, so in order to break down their objective, why Esau is out of his mind, crazy, to a point of seeking to totally eradicate the earth or rid Jacob of the earth. We have to go back. We have to go back to the Old Testament. And when we go into the Old Testament, it's going to bring out all of this into what? Its proper prophetic perspective. Huh? Hold tight. We'll be right back. We're going in. We are exposing the 7 hills of Satan for the first time here together on this Sabbath with the gathering of Christ Church. One moment. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
when it comes to reading the Bible. The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Okay, you with me, Elder Ramar?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to Genesis 25. Let's go to Genesis 25. Genesis 25 and 21. Ready when you are.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was barren. And the Most High was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High.
So Rebekah felt pain. You've blessed me to have a child when I couldn't. Why am I suffering these serious pains while pregnant? So she went to talk to the Most High. 23.
And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 separate nationalities would eventually come from her womb, from Isaac. 2 separate genealogies. Eventually, now when the children come out initially, they're of the same bloodline. But eventually, prophetically, one nation would go off and have an entirely different separate bloodline from Isaac and or Abraham. So one of these children would have what? A genome change. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder shall serve the younger. So the first child that comes out is the eventual servant of the baby child. Read.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Read.
And the first came out red all over like an
The
hairy
first came
garment.
out what?
The first came out red
The
all
first
over like a hairy
came
garment.
out red all over like a hairy garment. So they're not white. There's no such people as white people. Their hair is white. See? Now, when you look at the red vesture on the Pope here, is his skin color closer to his red vesture or his white hair? So there is no such thing as white people. Okay. The first came out what?
The first came out red all over like in hairy garment.
That means from head to toe. And remember, this was the child, the first come out. That's right. This is the child whose children would one day have to serve the second child's children. Prophetically. That means the world to come, Christ's kingdom, the elder must serve the younger. And they called his name what?
And they called his name Esau.
There you go. So we know prophetically they are not to have dominion forever. That's right, folks. This is speaking of Esau. And it says the boys grew. Read 25. As a matter of fact, read 26.
And after that came out his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Now you notice it didn't identify how Jacob looked. Why? There was no need to identify it. He looked just like his mother and father. He was brown. So there was no need to identify his outward appearance. And his name was what?
And his name was called Jacob.
Right?
And
Keep on.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
A score is 20, 60 years of age. Read.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
So he was a hunter. He'd be out in the field doing all these things. Read.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Now, Rebekah loved Jacob because she knew that Jacob was the chosen seed, the promised child. She never told Abram. A matter of fact, she was advised not to. Okay? But Rebekah loved Jacob. So here it is. What happens? Read the 29th verse.
Genesis 25, verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
He was faint because he just came back from a war that led to him decapitating Nimrod. So eventually he would take on the kingdom or power of Nimrod later. So now Nimrod's men are on the chase after him. Esau don't know if he's going to survive. He's weak after the war. And he's coming to his brother for nourishment. He don't know if he's going to survive what's about to happen. 30.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
He's faint. You know why he's faint? He just came from a war. And these are details that are not explained in full, strictly within the first 5 books. But when you go into the book of Jasher, it's the same story, but it shows why Esau is so tired and need food. A war with Nimrod's men. He's the one that eventually Satan would use to take over from where Nimrod left off. Eventually. And this is why the Europeans push ancient Babylonian holidays. It's the same beast who what? Who fuels the current people of the empire. It's the same beast who empowered the Babylonian Nimrod. That's why Esau follow the same holy days of ancient Babylon. Therefore
was his name called Edom.
Therefore was his name called Edom. So now 2 nations are in thine womb. One would be Jacob, name turned to Israel. The other would be what? The older brother, the red brother, who now name would be turned to who? Edom, who would become what? 2 separate nations. The Israelite nation and what? The Edomite nation, as was shown Rebekah in the prophecy. Right? Now, if you will, let's now go to Genesis 36. Genesis 36, verse 1. Right? A matter of fact, let's get straight to it for time's sake. Now, eventually, Esau would go out to hunt at the end of his father's life to receive the blessing from his father. Now, he would go and try to get the blessing, knowing that he sold his birthright. So the Most High had a trick for his mind. You go out there and try to find that. The Most High is going to give the blessing to Jacob like it was promised to Rebekah. Esau comes back all upset and crying after he realized his father told him, listen, I already gave it to Jacob. Now Esau is seeking vengeance against his brother after you've already sold his birthright. So he's a man, what? Who's not a man of his word. He'll break treaties. He'll break agreements. You made an agreement with Jacob, Esau. No one told you to ask for that rare food. You should have had the faith of your father Abraham and stuck it out. But no, you thought you had what? You thought you had what? You thought you had one in the pocket, knowing that at the end of your father's life, he's going to give you the blessing anyway. So Esau, he didn't even want to keep his agreement with his brother Jacob. If you sold his birthright, he was supposed to go to his father at the end of his life and say, I cannot in good earnest receive this blessing. I got in a jam years ago and I sold my birthright to Jacob. Bless my brother Jacob. That's what Esau was supposed to do. But he don't honor any agreements. He'll go into an agreement that benefits him at that time, knowing that he's going to break the agreement later. The Most High had something else for him.
You know what's interesting, Elder, is that the Christian church likes to highlight the fact that Jacob tricked Isaac into this blessing, but they never talk about what you're talking about right now, how Esau made an agreement and now he's trying to cash in on an agreement he made for something that he already gave away. Exactly.
They never highlight that portion of it. They defend Esau over Jacob in the Christian church. Why? Because they know the people over modern day Christendom are Edomites. You done sold your birthright, man. What are you doing getting the blessing? Right? Same as all the treaties that he did here with the Gadites in America, the North American Indians. Broke every treaty. And this is why our people never made a treaty. The Judites, we never made a treaty with them. Okay? Even when we linked in to the Seminoles in the Florida Wars and all that, when we escaped from the South and became the Seminoles with the Gadites, we made no treaties with them. We're like, nah, you're going to give us equal rights under the Constitution, or this whole thing slows up. We'll be a thorn in your side, throughout the whole time of this empire, if you would like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Esau didn't give us rights under the Constitution out of the goodness of his heart. Like, listen, you ain't going to sell no tobacco. You're not going to sell anything. Man, the seminar, man, we were going back and forth. We had spies within the plantations and all of that. We would foil you the plans by taking certain trade things at the dock and using it for ourselves. They hide all of that information of why they actually had to make us equal citizens under the 14th and 15th Amendments. They hide all of that. That's why Judah, we never made an agreement with them. We never signed a treaty with them.
You know, it's crazy. I was looking this morning. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Elder,
Yeah.
but Trump was talking, and he was talking about how they surrounded Venezuela. And he was saying how Venezuela stole our oil and we're here to take it back. And I'm like, what oil? You talking about the oil in Venezuela that is in their land? That's your oil? So just this whole talk is just spilling over into just present day, hearing this recent news.
Exactly. And that's why you can't make an agreement with them. The Bible tell you there's no, they're doing their agreements is to benefit them for that time. That's it. It's a truce. It's not an agreement. That's a clear difference. It's a truce, not an agreement. Because what? Esau believed that what? The whole earth he's entitled to based on his brother Jacob stealing the birthright. That's what makes Esau entitled to say Venezuela, that land is ours, or this earth is ours, because under the promise, the whole earth under Christ's kingdom will belong to Israel. So they're not telling people why they feel entitled to the land. It's based on this prophetic promise where Esau came out first, and he thinks what? That he was done wrong by our God, so he's going to take what the firstborn should have received from the beginning. He's not telling people this. And see, and that's why I tell you, but the Most High exposes him. If it wasn't for the Bible, Esau would have gotten away with this. Okay, he would have gotten away. But now, let's bring it into Esau becoming another nation now, right? Let's go to Genesis 36:1. A great point, by the way. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 1. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
These are the generations of Esau, who is Edom, right? Now let's go down to the 8th and 9th verse.
Verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Esau is Edom. Come on.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
The fathers of the Edomites in Mount Seir. The Most High showed Rebekah, 2 nations are in thine womb. Now we understand the 2 nations who are jockeying for what? Power and control over the earth according to prophecy. Right? So now, either Jacob will rule all nations or Edom will rule all nations. Once Jacob sinned against God and we had to go through the prophecies of serving the other nations for a time, Esau by default gained world domination through bloodline. And that is their new world order. That's their order. Two nations now. Now, this is where it gets quite interesting. He had to go to Mount Seir, where Yahweh or Yehovah, not Christ, was being served. Satan was being served at Mount Seir. Let me show you this. Let me show y'all this. 1 second. Look at this. What is the Egyptian name for Esau? It's the Sasu or the Sashu. Look at this. Look at this here. The Sasu. Who are the Sasu or the Shasu, which is the Egyptian name the Egyptians gave the Edomites? Well, look at here. Look at this. Regarding Yahweh, observe an hieroglyphic rendering corresponds very precisely to the Hebrew tetragrammaton that was on the Mesha stele. Look what it says. By the 14th century BC. Remember that time? Before the call of Yahweh had reached Israel, groups of Edomites and Midianites worship Yahweh as their God. Where did they find this God? They found this God to worship, the Tetragrammaton, at Mount Seir. So this was not the God who was talking to Moses. Yahweh, the God of the Shashu, is Satan. He received the new religion for his order at Mount Seir. The plan we see to dominate the earth today, this is where Esau received his guidance. Hence the reason they promote Jehovah, Yahweh, and are very silent concerning the name that was given to Moses, Ahiah. Right? There they go. The Shashu spies in Egypt, going right back to who? Zepho, the grandson of Esau. He sent in spies to try to destroy our people who were already in Egypt, who was ruling Egypt. Joseph and the brothers. Esau was sending spies. Zepho, that's right, the grandson of Esau, is now seeking revenge because our people are being exalted over all of the Mesopotamian area, the Mesopotamian kingdom. Now there's more, if you will. Elder, let's go back to Genesis 36 again. And there's something in particular that happened in the next verse, in the second verse of Genesis 36. Let's read it.
Genesis 36, verse 2. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan.
Of the daughters of Canaan, read.
Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. and Ahilabaamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite,
Read.
and Bashemoth, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nabajoth,
Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nabajoth, which was Ishmael's firstborn. He's the father. Nabajoth is the priesthood of all of Islam, of the Arabic world. A matter of fact, the so-called Prophet Muhammad is from the sons of Nabajoth. See? So this is what justified them being priests in the Middle East, because before Esau lost the blessing and birthright, Ishmael felt he was slighted by our father Isaac. And now they're joined together at the hip in marriage at the what? At the base of Mount Seir, intermarrying with one another with a conspiracy to come against the children of Israel in the future. This is why we don't co-sign Islam by Arabs, and we don't co-sign modern day Christendom by Edomites. Their conspiracy was concocted here in those areas between Israel and Jordan, which they call Idumea, and they made a blood pact through family to come against us, using the knowledge that they learned and received from the God they served at Mount Seir. Now, as you can see, Esau took his wives, the daughters of Canaan, so he brought in a new bloodline in the earth when it says, two manner of people shall be separated from thy vows, and two nations shall come from you. Now Esau created a new nation with him being part Shemite and part Hamite through this family line that would become the princes and kings and queens and dukes we see in Europe today. And here it is. Through this, Bashemoth's, Ishmael's daughter sister, the sister of Nabajoth, she now bring forth a child. She started bringing forth a separate family. One family Esau would be part Nephilim through the Canaanites, and there was other families who would just be families through Ishmael. And those families rule the United Emirate today. It isn't Ishmaelites who rule the United Emirate. When they say, hey, we need to go over Dubai and all of that, it's Ishmael who assisted Esau, who's ruling, through the children of Bashemoth, who had children with Esau. Esau is the United Emirate. He's ruling Dubai. So when you see people talking about taking a flight to Dubai with the sheiks doing all that nasty stuff to them, those are Edomites. Those are Edomites.
And when you look at them, Elder, they're very pale too. They're not like your typical darker skinned Arabs.
And that's interesting that you're saying that, because it so happens we've lived over in the Middle East to know the difference. So when you think about Dubai and the sheiks and those that are really running things and the princes and kings who's negotiating over here, these are Edomites through that relationship at Mount Seir. Right? Now, here's something that's even more interesting than that. They can't play dumb anymore, right? Because the Bible tells us that man of sin would be revealed. Biblical Archaeology Society. What is this? Jews and Arabs descended from the Canaanites according to DNA analysis. No one can put this together unless you've read Genesis 36 to see when they first colluded together at Mount Seir after Esau lost his blessing. There was no land for Esau, so he would have to go into Mount Seir, having no land. He conspired with Ishmael. That's why every place we go, Esau negotiate with bringing Arabs over to be all up next to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tactic. That's a war plan that they've done throughout time immemorial when you read historically. This relationship at Idumea. So it's not that they descend from the Canaanites. They mix their blood with the daughters of the Canaanites. And everyone know this, if you've read the Bible. But of course, that's right, your historians as well as your theologians seek to hide this information. They know that there are a different nation through mixing their blood with the Canaanites. Someone asked, can we please have the link to that article? Yes, I'll give it to you. And I'm showing y'all folks, a lot of y'all don't know what y'all be missing in the academy. So I'm sort of giving y'all one of those academy type lessons to let people understand out there who think the academy is just another Bible study of how in depth we go in when it comes to these lessons. Okay? There's the link. There's the link for that. Okay? So it's not that they descended from Canaanites. Their bloodline was changed by dealing with people that God told Abraham and Isaac and our families not to deal with. So they have like part Nephilim, a small percentage of Nephilim in their blood. Now, through their science, with them trying to always stick things into our children, they're trying to turn us into them. They're trying to turn us into their genetics.
Think about World War II, Elder, with I don't even know what I want to say his name. The actual guy in Germany, the ruler in Germany, and the Aryan race that he was speaking about that they were looking to create.
Yeah.
So I just comes to mind with what you're saying.
Yeah, so they'll do it through their science. That's why I don't trust none of that. Like, nah, keep that for your people. We good. Right? So now to see what Esau will do under his lesser magic, he have to drop the truth to you so that no one can claim he lied. But who's actually looking into this history to be able to identify what we're breaking down today? So they'll put it out there. It's like, we put it out there, the people just weren't reading. They weren't looking. See, but that's why you have watchmen, you have teachers to connect the dots for you. So they became another nation in where? At Mount Seir. Right? Now, there's one person I want to bring out in particular. Real quick. Right? Let's bring out real quick. When you go to Genesis 36, let's read some of the sons of Esau. A matter of fact, it's one son in particular that I would like to highlight. Right? Read the 8th verse.
Genesis 36:8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Read.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
In Mount Seir, read.
These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Ruel, the son of Bashemoth, the wife of Esau.
Read.
Verse 11. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz.
Zepho and Gatam and Kenaz. Now, earlier I broke out that what? That there's certain information that's written in the book of Jasher, which was prophesied or given us through the Bible. Joshua 10 and 13, and the sun stood still, and until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher, according to Joshua 10 and 13? Right? So if this written in scriptures, it will give us some insight if we were to go into the book of Jasher. So let's now look at Zepho according to the book of Jasher. Let's go to the book of Jasher again. Right? The book of Jasher. And let's focus on who? Let's focus on Zepho. Zepho. We're going to the book of Jasher in front of you, and we're going to the 61st chapter. 61st chapter. Now, this is the original translation. At the end of the academy, we usually give this particular PDF out. Okay? You can get a lot of Jashers, but this is the original translation, the book that actually, believe it or not, you can't find this particular PDF even online, believe it or not. I had this since 2007. You can't find this one online. It's the original translation. You can still buy the book through Amazon, but this PDF you can't find is actually online. I've tried it. But we give this one out at the end of every academy. When you go to the book of Jasher, remember Zepho is the grandson of Esau, who's part Canaanite, where they learned Satan's religion at Mount Seir. The religion that's none other than the Catholic Church today. All right? 1 second. I'm going to go down to the 25th verse. So Zepho began to war against our people at a time when the Most High would begin to raise kings and princes in Egypt that would lead to Moses leading us out of Egypt around 1400 BC. Well, Elder Ramar, at the same time the Most High was preparing Israel to eventually get the land of Canaan, Satan had Esau through Zepho working in Europe to build a kingdom for him. Look at this. I'm going to read it. The book of Jasher, 61 verse 24. Matter of fact, let's start here so we'll understand it's the same guy. And at the revolution of the year, the troops of Africa continued coming to the land of Kittim. This is Cyprus, to plunder as usual. And Zepho, son of Eliphaz, Genesis 36, heard their report. And he gave orders concerning them, and he fought with them, and they fled before him, and he delivered the land of Kittim from them. 25. And the children of Kittim saw the veiler of Zepho, and the children of Kittim resolved, and that they made Zepho king over them. This is Esau becoming a king over a European country. This is when Esau now is moving in number into Europe and now are becoming Europeans around the 1400 BC mark. And he became king over them. Whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal and all the surrounding islands, the islands of Greece. And their king Zepho went at their head, and they made war with Tubal and the islands, and they subdued him. And when they returned from the battle, they renewed his government for him. And they built for him a very large palace. Folks, that's your Vatican, the throne of Satan. 1400 years before Christ was born, they were building what? They was making the religion on earth that they learned at Mount Seir. And they built him a very large palace for his royal habitation and seat. That's your papacy. And they made a large throne for him, like they give the Pope. And Zepho reigned over the whole land of Kittim and over the whole land of Italia 50 years. 50 years. Look at that. Look at it. See that? This is how Esau got into Italy. All right? Rome. See? Now later down on the line, Zepho had what? A grandson. His grandson so happened, his name was Latinus. His name was Latinus. That's where the language Latin comes from. Latinus the second. So let's see what other areas Esau is taking down one by one to rival the kingdom of Israel, while our people are going in eventually into Jordan, over Jordan, into the land of Israel to get our kingdom that's promised. The same time the Most High has given our promised land to our forefathers, Satan has given Esau a kingdom on earth. That was the agreement Esau made with Satan at the Mount Seir, the Canaanites. Now, for the sake of time, I can only touch on this before going back into the Bible, but I'm connecting some dots for you all. Right? So, when you go to the book of Jasher, let me go to the 90th chapter to get to Zepho's grandson, Latinus. Right? Latinus. Right? Let's get it. And so that no one can claim, right, that this isn't speaking of Edom, I'm going to show you. Latinus. As you can see, in the days Moab rebelled against the power of Edom, having been under Edom since the days of Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote them and Midian and brought Moab under subjection to Edom. So Edom started taking all these nations under his power during that time. Later on, it says right here, and in those days died Janneus, king of the children of Kittim. This is where you get the god Janus that we read about or hear about in the Greek islands. Janus. And they buried him in the temple he built for himself in the plain of Canopia for a residence. And Latinus reigned in his stead. That's where you get what? The Latin language through Esau now. Y'all see this? That's where we get the language Latin from. Why? In Rome, they were dealing with Latin. It started off with Zepho, and then through Latinus, they started the satanic language, Satan's tongue, Latin, under this king and priest of Satan. Right? Are y'all following me here? Now let's get to the 90th chapter real quick for the sake of time. Yeah. Now check it out. Now this was happening during the days of Joshua. The same time we're setting up a kingdom over in Israel, Esau under Satan is setting up his kingdom that will rival us later down the line. As you can see, I'm in the book of Joshua, the 90th chapter, and the 27th verse. And the children of Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and the Lord gave them rest from all around them, and they dwelt securely in their cities. So we were fine in Israel. What was Esau doing at the same time? And it came to pass in those days that Abinus, king of Kittim, died, and in the 38th year of his reign, that is the 7th year of the reign over Edom, and they buried him in his place where he had built for himself. And Latinus reigned in his stead 50 years. Now this is Esau's what? Great-grandson under Zepho and Latinus ruling Europe. So what other areas they're taking over at the same time? We have taken over Israel. And during his reign, he brought forth an army, and he went and fought against the inhabitants of Britannia, that's Great Britain, and Kernania, that's Germany, folks. That's Germany. Look it up. So now they're taking out the Asians and are stealing Europe. They started off in a little city of Cyprus, then they got Italy, then they started, that's right, going into Great Britain, taking that. Then they began to go into Germany and they stole that from the Asians. And we're talking about around 1400 BC. So they're not Europeans. They stole that too. The children of Elisha, son of Javan, and he prevailed over them and made them tributary. Look at that. He then heard that Edom had revolted from under the hand of Kittim, and Latinus went to them and smote them and subdued them. So Latinus went back and began war against his family, who were the Edomites. And what happened to that? And placed them under the hand of the children of Kittim. And Edom became one kingdom with the children of Kittim all the days. This is when Esau became Europeans. He warred with his own family, put them under subjection, and they all made an alliance after that war not to fight against one another. And they brought all the Edomites into Europe. How do we know this? And for many years, there was no king in Edom, and their government was with the children of Kittim and their king. This is where Esau disappeared off of the earth. The word Edom. He would now be hid under the people who went into Europe. And folks, let me tell you, I want to say this real quick. Ramar, I was sitting on this for over 8 years. Right? I was sitting on this. I've been read all this. I was sitting on this for at least 8 years. I'm talking about to be able to timelines, the year they went, all the way up at 1400 years before Christ, all of that. But I'm just sitting back online and seeing all these people in Hebrews and all that talking about the Europeans are Japheth. And I'm like, I'm not even going to refute it. There's no need to make any videos to refute what they're saying, because I wanted everybody to put what they really believe out there. Like, okay, if they want to believe that. Right? So now we see how Esau was able to take what? Eventually, Europe to oppose Christ. By the time he's on the scene, they had a 1400 year what? Head start to create a kingdom that could rival and destroy our people by the time Christ would be born. See that? And eventually it happened under what? Under Hyrcanus, where these Edomites, some of them converted into Judaism during the 2nd century BC and became the Jewish people over the Sanhedrin by the time Christ was on the scene. Now they're working in politics. They're working from the throne of Caesar, as well as religiously amongst our people in the synagogues to come against us all at once. Right? Let's go to the book of Obadiah. The book of Obadiah. Let's start at the first verse.
The book of Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Most High God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Most High, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. The ambassador, according to the scriptures, isn't Gumdanassa. The ambassador is Iran. The final war that will lead to Christ needing to return to save us out of what's coming. The ambassador are the Medes. You can link that to Isaiah the 13th chapter. The ambassador wasn't some Gumdanassa and said, how did the Hebrews leave the Middle East black and come back white? Even though he made that announcement as an ambassador, this scripture isn't talking about Gumdanassa. Because it says, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Egypt is not seeking to battle the Europeans. They're being ran by the clandestine alphabet organizations in a lot of areas. This ain't talking about Gumdanassa. This is talking about Iran. Behold,
I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
I've made thee small in comparison to all the other races of people on earth. When you look at it by number, Edomites are 7% of the earth's population. Hence the reason why if people come over to America, if you weren't American born, you can identify as white on your paperwork. And they will allow it. You can be black as night. Okay? There's dark-skinned East Indians who live in America who is darker than me, folks, who have white on their paperwork. And why do they allow this? Because it gives a false bolstering of the numbers so that we don't realize how small Esau is on paper. On top of that, if they can show that they have a certain percentage being the majority in any country, then they get what? They get a greater piece of the pie when it comes to allotments and anything that's coming from the government to citizenry. So the part the pie when it comes to taxes, if they're the majority, then the majority of money goes to them. So they'll allow you to come over here and be black as night and say you're white. Okay? Because it'll give them more access to funds opposed to the minorities. Well, if you're smaller in number, then you don't need all this money over here that's for the majority. You see how that works? It's a political play against the poor to stop Israel from rising anywhere, especially in Western countries. That's why they don't mind Arabs coming over and all that. But they say, wink, wink, hey, make sure you put white on that paperwork. Assalamu alaikum. Right? Right? Behold, I've made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Read.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Mount Seir.
Whose habitation is high.
The Caucasus Mountains.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Who shall bring me down to the ground? Their pride hath deceived them because what? They was able to trick people so long, and they believe people are so dumb. That's what they believe. That they can get away with anything. But who did they count out? Our God. Once the Most High woke Jacob up, once he awakened Jacob, according to Ezekiel 37, it was just a matter of time before the facade would get exposed. Their pride is the fact that they can trick people and there's no consequences. They think, I can tell you to get this, and they be like, well, they tell you, oh yeah, oh, there's a disease out there. Hey, you better get this. It's safe and effective. And the fact that they can have people lined up to off themselves, this is what Esau believes is his power, to why his pride is that they can play God with no recourse or consequence against them because they believe the people are dumb. Right? Their pride have deceived them. You can trick man, Esau, but you can't trick God. The only thing the Most High had to do was allow us to be able to connect the dots a little bit. We trusted you because you came in like a trusted Christian. Have you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior? Hi, getting off their bikes. I'm Elder Bob. Have you heard about the Church of Latter-day Saints? And we sit there minding our business, double dutch, cooking out, doing what we doing in our neighborhoods. And we didn't think nothing of it. We was like, man, what's up with these people, right? They came trusting as if they were there to deliver the truth to us. That's Esau for you folks. Send their kids with bikes talking about their elders. Have you heard about the Church of Latter-day Saints? Have you heard about the Kingdom Hall? And the only thing they were doing the whole time was taking reconnaissance, seeking to divide us more. But I digress. This is why they're so prideful, folks. It's because they've been getting away with a lot of stuff for a long time. Read 4.
Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle is their emblem. From Rome all the way here to America. Right? That's why don't buy into the Russian-American war and all that. All of that's garbage. They're all together. Okay? Don't buy into it. And Russia is not the bear we read about in the scriptures. They lied about everything, folks. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, read.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Though thou set thy nest among the stars. The science to live above the firmament. NASA. Okay. Israel's Space Force. Look it up. America has a Space Force. Their whole plan was to set the technology to fight against what? The coming of our Lord and Savior. There's no meteorites you got to look out for. There's no planet risk. They know what's coming into this realm because Lucifer was once there. The size of the north is coming to this realm eventually. Our kingdom on earth. Okay, but if they tell people, hey, we seen a rock coming over there, or we've seen something out there, then it justifies them taxing the population to build their space war against the second coming. That's all they're talking about. It's justifying them actually building against building weaponry to fight the last war against our Christ, folks, is all it's about. Don't believe anything NASA say. No one landed on a moon. That's another lie. The moon isn't stationary. It's impossible to land on any stars or any moons. That's all. Any stars, moon, it's impossible. All of that was a lie to justify taking tax money from the people to build what we're reading right here. And though they set their nest among the stars, read,
thence will I bring thee down.
thence will I bring thee down. When you start going out in space, I'm going to start waking my people up. See that? Thence will I bring thee down. Well, how can the Most High bring Esau down? Jacob first took hold of the heel of Esau. They talking about they was going to go out there in the moon and go here. The Most High began to wake up Jacob. Because it's the truth that brings Esau down. It's smoke and mirrors for him. His whole kingdom is a lie. See? Then will I begin to bring thee down. Read.
Saith the Most High, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night.
And when it says thieves, he didn't only steal America. I just read how he stole Europe. And right in front of us, our people are suffering here in America, and they come up with a German narrative to now war with the people over in the Middle East. It's the same playbook. We're suffering here, and through media, they become the victims before the world to get a land and all that right in front of the people who are suffering. When these same people have had a hand in our suffering since slavery. I need y'all to think about how deep this is for them. How insane this is. That's why the Most High says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art they cut off? They'll steal, and people don't know. You know why there's no pushback? Because people don't know who they are. They don't know that these are the Edomites. Because if you knew they were the Edomites, then you would be able to what? Examine the Edomite playbook since Esau went into Mount Seir. How he was able to, through time, his sons, take over Europe. And then he would take over other areas and expand his kingdom. We would see it's the same playbook. Right? How art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen? Come on.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Because usually a thief would say, you know what? Hey, I only got a certain amount of time to be up in this place before the cops come. Right? I'll just
so
take.
much I can carry.
Yeah. Let me just fill up my bag and leave. Not Esau. Esau coming to the house and say, he looks around, Ramar. He says, you know what? Nice house. He don't look to steal from the house. He didn't look in the house and say, yeah, I'll take this. And then on top of that, he'll take the owners of the house, put them in the basement, kill the parents, and reprogram or re-educate the children to love him. See? Through time, the children get over the trauma of their parents. And next, Esau is now teaching the children that what they did was a good thing. I mean, look at the life your parents had for you compared to the life I can provide. I helped civilize you, a matter of fact. Aren't you happy you've been enslaved and I killed your family and destroyed your history? Folks, the greatest power of Esau is psychology. So if it wasn't for the Bible, it would be no way you can quantify or figure out the mind of Esau if it wasn't for the Holy Bible. They'll just straight lie in your face. And here it is, because we can't see, we can't operate like that, just lie for generations without conscience. We don't operate like that. They can lie straight in your face, or they'll do something and say, well, okay, here's the lie we're going to give you through the news. And guess what? The real information cannot be released until 75 years later. They'll sign a pact that we know what happened, but we have to wait till all the people who's complicit in the conspiracy to die before telling the people. That's how crazy these people. What'd you say? What'd you say?
And their children, that generation and the next generation is gone. Then we'll release the information.
Yeah. If you're a people of truth, why is it you just can't tell people the truth? I'm going to tell you, man, that's why the Bible says, if grape gatherers came to thee, would they have not leave some grapes? Understand, according to our law, when it come to gleaning during harvest, we had to leave all the corners of the fields open and not take all of the vegetation and food so that the poor can have something to eat. They do this even when I went in Cyprus and went in different parts of Greece and all that. And I seen, okay, you can get grape leaves. You can still pick bananas. But Esau put a tag on everything. Everything has a price. Nothing is for the poor. 6.
Verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
How can you figure out the mind of Esau? Read.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Read.
And prevailed against thee. They that eat the bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
There's no understanding in him, folks. That's why you're crazy for trusting what they try to, what they suggest for you and your family. Like, no, we good. And they'll sit there and look you with a straight face as if you'll be fine after doing everything they suggested. They crazy. Okay, outright. 8.
Shall I not in that day, saith the Most High, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Because what? Now what? Your seers have been darkened. They used to be able to go to the seers and the guiders and the soothsayers for direction. And the Most High have blocked that now. The only light in the earth that's coming to the earth is truth for his kingdom. And it's talking about the procrastinators, the necromancers, their wizards and warlocks they seek to keep power over the earth. They're not getting anything from the spiritual world to help them now. And now what we see all in the earth, I see it even looking at that turning point. Esau is losing his mind. They're going against one another right now, while Jacob is sitting back, eating popcorn, watching them devour one another. You see what happens? You see what happens when we aren't engaged with their madness anymore, folks? Because Esau only know war. If we're not involved, they'll begin to war against one another. And that thy mighty men, read.
And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
When it say every one of the mount of Esau, it's speaking of Amalek. Amalek is the mount of Esau. What is the mount? The mount is the confederacy, the leader position. Like, where did Esau have to go to? He had to go to Mount Seir. There he learned a what? He learned a religion and how to set up a government under Satan. So it's not all white people. It's saying the mount of Esau, especially those who don't believe in Christ. Amalek. Mount means the first. And what was shown through Moses? That Amalek would be what? The first of the nations. Right? Let me get it. The first of the nations. Numbers 24:22. So what does it mean when it says the mount of Esau? It's speaking about Amalek. Numbers 24:19. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. It's speaking of us, our forefathers' prophecy. And shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he shall perish forever. When you look at that first, let's get it. In the 20th verse, Amalek was the first. First is what? The first. The order or rank. The chief. So when it says he shall destroy the mount of Esau, it's speaking of Amalek. It so happened Amalek is the father of the modern day, what you would call Jewish converts. The first of the nations, like those who would be what? Over the United Nations. United, unified is one. Nations. The first of the nations was set up by Amalek, the United Nations. So it's their plan under the Confederacy to get rid of Jacob. We're talking about the policy side of things.
And Elder, it was also under the UN, under the Balfour Declaration, that they got that land.
Under the UN, the Balfour Declaration. See that? Matter of fact, let's show you this real quick. Here's a picture of Latinus, who eventually, Esau's grandson, who took over Great Britain and Germany 1400 years before Christ. These are Edomites. See? Y'all see that? Latinus. These are Edomites. And it showed that he took over Britain. And it was Great Britain who signed the Balfour Agreement in our modern times that would give their same people the right to go into Israel as Israelis.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Great point. Great point. Right? There's one other thing I wanted to show. Right? Let's talk about it real quick. The EU eventually, that Esau would rule. As a matter of fact, I'll get that in a moment. Finish reading out of the book of Obadiah. I don't want to lose this point here. Let's go back to Obadiah.
Obadiah verse 10.
Read it.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
So when it says, excuse me, Elder Ramar, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. It's not saying that all white people are going to be cut off by slaughter. That's some madness. Okay? It's speaking of the head of Esau. That's some madness when people talk about all white people. That's a lie. It's not all white people. It's the mount of Esau, those who are conspiring with Satan. Like your Vatican, like what we see going on in the Middle East and causing all of that turmoil over there. It's speaking of the head Satanist that's over policy for Esau throughout the world. So it's not speaking of all white people. That's ridiculous. Okay? It's because it specified the mount of Esau. Right? Why? Read the 10th verse.
Verse 10.
For thy violence.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Thou shalt be cut off forever. So what's going to be cut off? All the ill-gotten gains they received through thievery will be given back to its rightful owners, God's people. Don't forget, it start off by talking about what? If a thief came to thee by night, robbers. So what's going to be cut off? Them being able to rob. They're going to have to give back everything that's stolen according to prophecy. 11.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them.
Even you was as one of them. That means when they came and destroyed us in 70 AD, it was Esau behind it. Read.
12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
So the Esau celebrated when we lost Jerusalem and ran into Africa. And when we went into Africa, Esau sent Ishmael as a political controller to keep us underfoot. This is why Africa cannot rise. The Israelites within Africa. It's the plan of Idumea to always be at perpetual war against Jacob. See? Neither, read.
Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
Read.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity.
And since they went into the land and began to go into the land, they're cursed. They're cursed according to God. You should not have went into that land claiming to be my people, knowing that everything you're doing is an identifier that you must be from the seed of Edom. So when they went into that land, they became cursed, folks. Yea.
Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
That's right. All of the gold and all of the resources we see that made the Vatican, that all belong to us, folks. Read.
14. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
Read.
15. For the day of the Most High is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy
Clear.
reward shall return upon thine own
It
head.
says, thou shalt reward, the reward shall be returned upon thine own head. 16.
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
They shall be as though they had not been. What is that saying? It's going to be as if they never had any dominion or rulership on earth. Once they fall, it's going to be as if they never ruled anything. And folks, this is what Esau is fighting against right now, this prophecy. Knowing that there's nothing left when it comes to power after Christ returns. This is why they're in panic and just throwing everything up against the wall at once and have the whole earth in chaos, knowing that they have lost, they're losing their grip and control of power on earth. They know it because no one is buying into what they say anymore. That was their greatest power, that people once believed them. I don't care what you're coming with. You can't come with Christianity. You can't come with Islam. You can't come with, we don't want to hear nothing from y'all. That was their greatest power, to convince us that they knew anything. When life in the earth tells us the exact opposite. How is it y'all know all these things and are so intelligent and eloquent and high IQ? How can you be all this? And it doesn't bear out that none of this have transferred to what we see in the earth. The suffering, the carnage by the hands of your policies, the divisiveness that leads to wars and destruction, the poisons in the food. Everything we're seeing is contrary to some intelligent people. It's contrary. Poison in the waters, poison in the earth. And you want us to look to you with reverence and respect according to your IQ? The only thing that we could give them credit for with their IQ is the only thing that helps them through their IQ is to be able to deceive and trick others into believing them. That's the only credit you can give them. And that's why I tell people, listen, if you listen to what these people say, don't come crying to me at the end of it. Well, he told me this. They told me I was going to lose my job. Look at all the people who did what they suggested to be safe during the lockdowns and all that. All the people who did that claiming that they had to keep their jobs, who've been fired from that same job anyway and replaced by illegals. You can't listen to anything they say. 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Read.
Obadiah, verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
We shall what? Possess their possessions. That's what it means. And they shall be as though they had not been. Jacob is going to receive the promise, which is what? Power and rulership over the earth. And that power is given through Christ. There's no Israelite that's going to benefit from this promise who didn't receive Christ, who didn't accept Christ. You don't get this reward by default. 18.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High hath spoken it.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. This is not saying that there will be no Edomites left. This is saying there will be no possessions left. There will be no goods or what you would call ill-gotten gains left in their possession. When it says there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, it's saying what? But upon the mount of Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. That's none remaining in the house of Esau. See that? It's not saying that there will be no people left of Esau. That's ridiculous. How do we know this? Well, the Most High told Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger. If there are no Edomites left, how are they going to fulfill that prophecy serving Jacob?
Hmm.
You see, when you're not fueled by hatred, you can actually receive the scriptures as it is written. People are so adamant against hating people, they see what they want to see when they read scriptures to justify their hatred.
Yep.
See that? Now, when you go into the Septuagint, it gives a clear what? Breakdown on everything I've just said. The Greek translation of the Old Testament, it reads Obadiah 1:17, but on Mount Zion there shall be deliverance, and there shall be a sanctuary, and a house of Jacob shall take an inheritance those that took them for an inheritance. Clear. Elder shall serve the younger. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. That's the other 10 tribes. And the house of Esau shall be for stubble, and Israel shall flame forth against them, and they shall devour them, and there shall not be a cornfield left to the house of Esau.
Mm-hmm.
That's none remaining. They will own nothing because the Lord has spoken. See that? So when you see there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, it's not stating that all Edomites will be killed. That's ridiculous. Okay?
Also, it's interesting, Elder, when you precept to Amos 9 and 12, it talks about that possession of Edom,
All
of
right,
us
let's get
possessing them.
Let's get it. Amos 9 and 12 reads, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. There you go. Right? So that's crystal clear. So this is the prophecy Esau is seeking to hide from. Right? And hence the reason why, let's go back to the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. Revelations 12 and 1.
Book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Of 12 stars, we know that represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Go on.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
There appeared another wonder in heaven.
And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Having 7 heads. The 7 heads represents what? The 7 mountains of Rome. The 7 mountains of Rome, of Italy. What is it? The 7 hills of Rome. Quirinal Hill, Viminal Hill, Esquiline Hill, Salian Hill, Palatine Hill, Aventine Hill, Capitoline Hill. They had 7 temples worshiping Satan right here. And guess what? These are the original places that was shown to John on the Isle of Patmos. 7 heads and what?
And 10 horns.
7 heads and 10 horns. Who are the 10 horns? Here are the original 10 horns that were taken over by the Edomite, by the sons of Esau, through Zepho and later Latinus. And then a little after that, 333 BC, under Alexander's 4 generals, they took over the rest. Luxembourg, Denmark, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, France, Spain, Great Britain, and Switzerland. And it talk about the great whore that was carried over many waters, who carried the what? The beast that was and is not, but yet is. Well, if it was, it had to be the religion of ancient Babylon. Henceforth, the 10 horns would do what? They would build a modern day Tower of Babel construct. Here's your Tower of Babel that the Most High stopped during the time of Nimrod. Now the new kings led through Satan on earth to bring forth his will, set up a new building in Strasbourg that mimics what? The incomplete Tower of Babel, the 10 horns. Upholding the religion that once belonged to Nimrod, that was then given to their father Esau at Mount Seir. This is what they're trying to accomplish at the very end. But it cannot be accomplished until they rid the earth of the chosen people. We are the threat. Revelations 12, let's go back 12 and 3. And the threat isn't a physical threat. It's a spiritual threat. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They would rather what? Bait people into a physical war. When Esau had been given the gift of the sword, you cannot beat Esau carnally that way. It's the spiritual warfare that threatens them. Revelations 12:3, read.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven.
Speaking of Satan.
And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So Satan set up the Edomites to be in power to kill Christ at his birth. If they get rid of the child, then what? There you go. They'll stave off the prophecy. There is no prophecy of a kingdom given to Jacob if the baby dies. So Satan, when he set up Latinus, when he set up Zepho, he was setting up a religion to be in place so that they could kill Christ at birth through Herod the Idumean. That was the plan. But guess what? Christ's parents took him into Egypt, and he did everything he can to come back and bring forth a ministry as a sacrifice that gives us another opportunity at kingdom. Right? So because they couldn't get rid of him, they turned their sights on the people who brought forth Christ. Us. Read it.
Revelations 12:5. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Christ.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne.
That he was caught up to the throne. Hold up 1 second, okay? 1 second. Hold up, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, pick it up. 6.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
So there it is. So because they could not kill Christ, he went to the throne, shed his blood for the heavenly tabernacles. They couldn't kill him at birth. They tried to stop him from bringing forth the ministry that would expose Edom. Christ would bring forth the ministry that at the very end, the whole earth would understand who, like according to the book of Thessalonians, who is that man of sin, the sons of perdition? Well, without the Bible, you'll never figure it out. Satan's people, his government that was used through Edom, see, to destroy the earth. So this is why they wanted Christ dead. But once he brought forth the ministry and set a new path for those who could follow him, it would only be a matter of time before Satan's kingdom, led by Edom, would fall. See? And that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So what happens? The Romans come against our people, and we flee into Africa and different parts of the world until a time, and a dividing of times. That's what your 1,260 days represent. The time Esau would have to rule before the judgment. So he started coming after us. And then he started sending what? Missionaries. They finance Islam against us. And they also finance the satanic religions of India and brought them in against us. Who did it? Revelations 2 and 9. Let's go there real quick, and then we'll get Revelations 13. Revelation, we're there already. Revelations 2, verse 9. Let's read it.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
But thou art rich, read.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
There you go. Christ started pointing them out. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They are Edomites. They are Edomites hiding under the cloud of Israel. And Christ identified them. Right? How do we know they're the synagogue of Satan? Well, Satan gave them their power. Let's go to Revelations 13, verse 1.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 1.
Read.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
7 heads and 10 horns. As we mentioned earlier, the 7 heads represents the 7 mountains from whence what? That's right, the 7 hills of Rome. And it says the 10 horns. The 10 horns is what I mentioned earlier. You got the 7 hills of Rome. And you also have what? The 10 horns, which makes up what? The European power that now controls the earth. These are all Edomite-led countries, united under a confederacy. Okay? And their God is Satan. Read that last piece again.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy.
The name of blasphemy. Right? Blasphemy. The whore that sitteth on many waters. Now let's go down and see who gives Esau their power, their rulership, their plan for world domination. Let's read the 4th verse.
Verse 4, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
They worship Satan, folks. They worship Satan. They put up Yahweh, Jehovah, and made everyone believe that was our God, when that God came from Mount Seir. It's the same God that had Zepho and Latinus and all the Caesars set up their republics throughout the earth as a plan to one day find all of the children of Israel and to get rid of all the children of Israel. Hence the reason they set up institutions where we would be forced to go there for births and or deaths, to give our genetics to them so that at the very end they'll know where Israel is all over the earth, a specific genetic strand to destroy before Christ returns. That's their plan. That have always been their plan. Satan gives them their power, and that's why Christ identified them as the synagogue of Satan. When you look at academia, when you look at the medical field, when you look at what? The judicial field, there's a familiar people we see in all these particular areas. I need y'all to think about this. And it's all about them what? Bringing forth their prophecy to get rid of the chosen people so that by default, they become the chosen people. They worship Satan, folks. Outright. The Bible tells us, don't believe when they say they're Christians. According to their religion, guess what? They are allowed to lie to Goyim, because people outside of them is nothing different than cattle. That's in their writings. That lying is justifiable to the Goy. Right? So Christ began to do what? He began to expose them. Right? Now let's go right here to Revelation 17, and we're going to read the whole thing out and end it here. Starting at 17:1.
Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
I'll show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So according to God, a judgment was shown to the disciple John on the Isle of Patmos. And she's everywhere. She goes everywhere and set up her evil republic. She'll go into Africa, South America, all over the earth she goes to spread her blasphemy. Read.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Verse
Read.
3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
We know that scarlet-colored beast, scarlet is red. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Read. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. We know what that is now. Right? Read.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
What colors would we be able to recognize this harlot in the end times?
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
Purple and scarlet colors. The colors for the cardinals and priests who are over the Catholic Church. See that? Satanists operating in plain sight. Read.
And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Having a golden cup in her hand, filled with blasphemy. Sin. Every place she goes, the society goes directly to hell. Every place she goes. Huh? Read on.
Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Why is it a mystery? Because everybody's looking to Babylon. When Rome took up the religion of ancient Babylon. See? Esau had become the new Nimrod on earth through Mithraism. Look it up. It's the same religion of Babylon now being practiced by different priests. No longer under the Cushites, now it's under the Edomites. Hence the reason they're celebrating Nimrod's or Tammuz's birthday in a few days, December 25th. They celebrate the mother of Nimrod, Semiramis, every Easter under the goddess Astar. So the mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth, the mystery is that no one knows that Esau had become the new king Nimrod to bring all nations under Satan to fight against God's people and to eventually join them in the war against Christ's second coming. Read on. 6.
Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
So these would be the people who would be responsible for taking down Jerusalem, killing the prophets, killing the disciples. They would kill Christ through a what? A Roman capital punishment, only to parade themselves as Christians after our people would lose Jerusalem. Read.
And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
It was because Satan gave the religion to Nimrod first, and is not because Nimrod or the Cushites are no longer upholding the religion on that same level. It was and is not, but what?
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
Read.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was
Babylon and is not. Read.
And yet is.
But yet is. So what was the religion in play amongst the Roman Empire during the time of John, Christ, and the disciples? The Babylonian religion. It was under Babylon, and it's not because Babylon is no longer in power, but yet is. Rome. Rome would be the new, that's right, hub that would now bring forth Satan's Babylonian power throughout the earth. That's the blasphemy they'll take throughout other areas and other countries. The power of Satan that was set up in ancient Babylon. That's the religion they would take from one shore to the next. The beast that was and is not and yet is. That's Rome. Read.
Verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
So here is the hub of Satan's throne. The 7 mountains. What 7 mountains? Here's wisdom. Christ is showing us here. The 7 hills of Rome. For those who have wisdom to understand, this is the hub of all the evil that have been moved throughout the earth. It started here, according to what the angel showed John in the book of Revelation. Right? You follow me? Come on.
Verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
And it's talking about what? A kingdom that would have a short space made out of the ancient 10 horns. America. See? It would only be in power for a short space. A kingdom out of Rome. Read.
And you know what's deep, Elder, is I don't know if you're probably familiar. Next year, 2026, is the 250th anniversary of America's inception.
Yep. Look at that. See that? It's only a short space compared to the ancient kingdoms who could not achieve in all of the time they had power what America has achieved in a short time. See? It's speaking of America. It was shown not just to John on the Isle of Patmos. It was shown to Christ. When Satan took Christ up on a pinnacle and said, all these kingdoms I'll give you if you bow to me, Christ, he showed him America. Christ said, I'm good. My kingdom is coming to the earth. My kingdom, for my people, is an eternal kingdom. Right? Finish reading. Great point, though. Thank you.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition.
It will eventually be destroyed. Read.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Now, what does it mean by the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as of yet? Why? Because when America became a superpower, guess what? The 10 horns no longer was sought after. Right? America took all of the shine from the 10 horns. When America was made out of 3 of the 10. So when it's saying the kings have no power, why? Because America took all of the shine. And jealousy began amongst the 10 horns who created America. How can a nation we created outshine us? So what happens? This is what John is being shown here, brothers and sisters. The 10 horns which thou sawest is 10 kings or 10 kingdoms. Those are the 10 horns which have received no kingdom as yet. Why? Because America, the 8th that came out of them, is the glory of all kingdoms. So it says, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So the last 7 years, all power will be what? Given back to the 10 horns led by Rome. They're going to get their power back. So in order to do that, they must make America naked and or exposed. That's what we're living under right now. Where now America have become the laughingstock before the earth, so that now it justified them dismantling America. But here's the greatest issue they have with America, right? Why they hate it. The slaves end up being the responsibility for its glory. Think about that. The slaves end up being the reason for its glory. Not the military. No, it was the slaves. Through our music, through our struggle. Who's more respected when you think of history? Who's more honorable as heroes? Can you put up George Washington against Martin Luther King? Think about that. Or Malcolm X. This is what made the 10 horns jealous. Because America didn't just become the superpower. I went into last week all the inventions that was made from the children of slaves in America a couple of weeks ago. The majority of the inventions that the whole world celebrates were made by us. So the 10 horns got frustrated, like, hold up. America becomes great, outshine us. And here it is, they became great through the children of slaves. They can't stand it. Now, let's dismantle this. Shouldn't we get all the glory being the conquerors? That's the problem. That's the problem. Because now we have to look into how you conquered, how you were able to colonize. See? The thievery, the bloodshed, the dishonesty. There's no honor in anything you've done. There's no honor. Can't respect that. See? When you rule through tyranny, then that becomes your legacy. See? And the 10 horns which thou sawest, let's finish it up. Come on.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Come on.
Verse 13, these have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
They will give their power and strength to Satan. This is where we're coming to, folks. Read.
These shall make war with the Lamb.
That's the plan of the EU, folks. They're set up to do what?
These shall make war with the Lamb.
These will make war with the Lamb, the second coming of Christ. That was the plan in the beginning under Nimrod, to fight against who? The God of gods. When you look in the book of Jasher, they begin to shoot out into space to fight God. That's the same plan for the EU. Read.
And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings.
Read.
And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Chosen and faithful. That's crystal clear. That's crystal clear. Those in Christ. Of course, the angels who are coming back to fight against the fallen ones who are here. Right? So the fallen ones have given Esau the knowledge and understanding for spiritual warfare. The final battle before that worm is bound in hell. 15.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
All people being ruled by Esau. That's why at any time he can get any country, get people from any place to do his bidding anywhere. And that's what we're witnessing right now in America. With him bringing the people from other places like chess pieces to undermine and to destroy the awakening of the Almighty through the houses of Judah. And the 12 tribes who are awakening throughout the earth. And the 10 horns.
16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
These shall hate the whore. Read.
And shall make her desolate.
Make her desolate and naked. And that's what's going on with letting all of the other people come in to destroy the treasury of the United States. To rob it barren. Where there's no substance. That's what we're seeing politically right now being executed from the 10 horns, so that by default, there's governance from the outside of America going forward. With special interests investing into all the politicians to dismantle America. Those special interests are from outside countries, folks, to destroy it. America had been sold already over a decade ago to all these other countries. That's what was being shown in the book of Revelations, to make her bare, to expose her, to make her naked, to make her have nothing, to be bare. Read.
And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
When it says they shall burn her with fire, the 10 horns aren't going to burn her with fire. But what's going on here? If the 10 horns instigate from the outside of America a war against Iran and have it where America goes into the war against Iran, by default, they've instigated the war that will lead to America being utterly wasted. See? So the 10 horns, who did what? Who sent Edomites into Israel, instigated the war, only to bring America in to fight the war that leads to America falling. And by default, the 10 horns will have governance over the earth the last 7 years before the reckoning. 17.
For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Rome. At the very end, Christ is going to put his foot on it. That's who he's coming to deal with first upon his arrival. The final cataclysm between what? Esau and Jacob. All right. I don't think we have to say too much on this, right?
Right.
All right. So all praises be to the Most High, Ramar.
Yes, sir.
Hope to see you soon, my brother. And thank you for assisting us in during Elder Lawyer's absence. Right now, he's over in Zimbabwe. And I don't, things may be unstable as far as the internet and certain things go. And I wanted to make sure it was delivered flawlessly to be documented for future references when people come back to this video, right? I wanted to make sure that we have to make sure everything is smooth, because what we're doing is documenting prophecy in real time so that brothers and sisters can understand the Spirit of the Almighty that have always worked amongst His church in preparation to get our people right with Christ before it's time, to be able to, I would say, explore outside of these borders.
Yes, sir.
I thank you, my brother.
Absolutely. It's deep real quick. This lesson was so deep because last night I happened to stumble across a book dealing with this very thing you're speaking about. It was really highlighting, it said Canaanite, Edomite, Jewish converts. And so when I get to my other computer, I'll send that link to you so you can check that book out.
Okay. All
Might
right.
be a good addition to the academy.
Well, please send it to me, because this academy, instead of just going into who's Edom, we're going to take it to the next level. I don't want to keep teaching the same lesson a different way. I'm going to go into a separate part of the lesson that we rarely taught. We're going to start off with the 12 Caesars prophecy for who's Edom, this academy. So I believe it's time to take the lessons to the next level, and brothers and sisters are now prepared to receive the next level of these teachings that have been blessed through the gathering of Christ Church. So, So send it to me. I'll add that to a book that will be, add that to the books that we'll use in the academy also. All right.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the academy, folks, without any further ado, I would like to announce, last but not least, we start the Hebrew and Bible Academy tomorrow. Tomorrow, a new Hebrew and Bible Academy begins. Beyond 2025, hope after Armageddon. We're preparing for the kingdom after judgment. I'm going to tell you, folks, this is the academy you need. The academy above all academies. We're going in for the next 3 months with brand new lessons. Beyond 2025, hope after Armageddon. And I pray that you all come on in and share, and not just the news, the Hebrew, but the 3-month lessons we have and the personal interactions we'll have with those who enroll in the academy. There's giveaways. There's a lot going on that we want to do in this academy. Some Bibles we're going to give away, some concordances, and all of that. So you don't want to miss this, and I appreciate it if you be a part of what? Something that cannot be compared to any other Bible lesson you would find in the earth. If you want to be a part of it, go to historytimes.org to enroll. Another thing, you don't have to be present on Sunday, because some people, Sunday is their only day off. So if you can't be there, it's fine. Enroll, and we'll still make sure you get the information to view at your leisure any day of the week, even if you're busy on Sundays. So don't let that be something that gets in the way of you being a part of this. We give you a link. You can study at your convenience at a time that's right for you during the week, okay? You'll still get the news. You'll be in the know with the Hebrew, and you'll get the lessons. Also, you can go to historytimes.org or send an email to gatheringasone at AOL.com. Send an email. Right now, we have the administration working around the clock, dealing with the enrollments. Come on in. We would like to see you tomorrow morning. I'll be in the all white with my mitre on, ready to go. Hey, man, I'm chopped. Man, this remind me, Ramar, of one of those old lessons back, right? But it quantified that. One thing I never brought forth, though, right, is the Latinist piece, the one who brought forth the Latin language. He's really the guy. We're talking about Zepho's son down the line, who eventually began to take Edomites into different parts of Great Britain and all of that, parts of Germany, all of that. Yeah. So I thought I would bring that piece out, but I'll expound more within the academy coming in a few weeks, breaking down the 12 Caesars to show you how the 12 Caesars link directly to these bloodlines. So I'll be dealing with that in the Hebrew and Bible Academy.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Well, thanks again, young man. You have a blessed rest of your Sabbath, and thank you for coming in and assisting me. Elder Lawyer, I know you're out there. We love you, man, and you stay careful. Stay blessed, and I hope to see you next week as we sit next to one another, bringing forth the word of God together to finish what the Most High started in this church. I know you're there, brother. You know we love you, and we pray the angels are on your wings as you and your family come back as we finish this spiritual war against the satanic powers of this earth in the name of Yeshua. Have a blessed Sabbath, Ramar.
You as well, Elder. The water. Shalom. Shabbat
Shalom. And with that, shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Support the church, $GOCC report, or go to gatheredofchrist.org under donate if you don't have Cash App, and continue to support the work. None of this could be possible without you. We have some plan for some land and everything else. So what you're providing will help us finish the work of the Almighty and have what? Provisions for those who are without when the mark of the beast come on the scene. Gatheredofchrist.org. With that, may the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. Sin not. We will soon see Israel. We are the children of Israel, and yes, we're back.